Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dusted on Gaming with Quick Deck Tech. So this is for shout out for the Foz. He wanted to see some Legacy Burn. So here we are. Legacy Burn list. Not too dissimilar from some of the modern burn lists we've been playing. Main difference is obviously it's a mono red deck for the most part. Format's a little bit faster, so you have to be a little more efficient with what you're doing. So to that end, you have your usual Monster, Swift Spear, Goblin Guide, and Eidolon the Great Revel you see in Modern. However, you do have some more efficient burn spells like Chain Lightning. What's up, War Dog? Obviously, Lava Spike and Lightning Bolt kind of round out your one-drop spells. Flame Rift deals 4 damage to each player, much like the same concept as Eidolon. You don't care about dealing damage as long as you're dealing it in chunks. Price of Progress is your big pickup in this format. A lot of the mana bases in Modern cannot afford to play too many basics, so Price of Progress can deal 4, 6, sometimes even 8 damage. You're playing all basic mountains, so it doesn't deal you any damage. Stirring Blood obviously helps deal with smaller creatures. There's not a ton of creatures in Legacy compared to Modern, so this has less targets. That's why you're not playing something like Stirring Blaze. Rift Bolt, obviously still pretty efficient. And then Fire Blast, which for 6 mana you can deal 4 damage, but usually you end up sacrificing 2 mountains and dealing 4 to your opponent's face if everything's going right. Sideboard, another Searing Blood for matchups in which are small creatures like Delver variants or Death and Taxes. A couple of Fairy Macabre for graveyard-based decks, same thing with Tormod's Crypt. Efficiency is the name of the game in Legacy, so your 0 mana spells are kind of important. 4 Pyrostack Pillar for things like Storm. Those tend to be abysmal matchups for Burn. Whereas in Modern, it's pretty cool. Your deck's usually faster than Storm, especially with Eidolon the Great Revel. Pyrostack Pillar is necessary, and you can still end up dying, with things like Belcher and such before you actually get a chance to untap. Smash Smithereens for various artifact decks, things like Belcher, things like any of the artifact-based mana decks, any of the prison decks that are bringing in Chalice of the Void against you, and then Sulfuric Vortex and then racing situations and such to prevent life gain. So that's pretty much where this deck is. Gonna hop into a Legacy League, see how many matches we're able to get to. I have a feeling this is gonna go well. Let's just say not smoothly. All right. Considering I have not played Legacy in quite some time, this should be an adventure. Wish the Foz was here to enjoy the festivities. Unlike, well, it's hard to say in the current Deathrite Shaman Gataxian Probe banning format how good this deck is, but previous I think Barbarian Ring's honestly too slow, so that's why most of the lists don't play it. But yeah, I can understand wanting something like Barbarian Ring. Back in the day, I played Keld Megaliths in a standard thing, which is somewhat similar. So, but yeah, queues tend to take a little bit longer in the Legacy leagues. Burn is not a very good deck as far as results that I'm aware of in Legacy. It's kind of one of the entry point decks. A lot of decks are simply faster. Even the fair decks, especially with Deathrite Shaman, were able to just ignore it and gain life. Got to play around things like Stifle and Force of Will and Daze, and so whole bunch of stuff you got to play around in Legacy that you don't normally have to play around in Modern. So this is going to be very, very entertaining, and I will be frequently looking decks up because I have, especially in this post-ban stuff, I have no idea what's going on for the most part. We lost the die roll. That's our first mistake in a format like Legacy. As far as I'm aware, this hand's perfectly keepable, but once again, it's Legacy, so I don't know. Oh, we're up against Dredge. This will be entertaining. Mm-hmm. So our opponent has 2 Cabal Therapies in the graveyard. Yeah. Welcome to Legacy, ladies and gentlemen. Where our opponent just crapped 2/3 their deck into their graveyard on turn 1. Let's see what they name. Whatever they name is probably going to be wrong here, so that's a positive at least. Crop rotation? Wow. Okay. Needless to say, I don't think we're winning this game. Welcome to Legacy, ladies and gentlemen. Naming Lightning Bolt. Sure. I'd like to say that was fun, but, mm-hmm. And people think Hollow 1 and Modern's too broken. Mm-hmm. So 3, 6... Oh dear. What do they dread returning anyway? Very large Fat Albert. 1717 Golgari Grave Troll. Think we're done here. Oh, I'm very well aware, War Dog. I'm very well aware. That's why at the beginning of this, I very specifically said this is going to be probably very ugly. I don't think Eidolon's very good in this matchup. Yeah. This is what happens when you have paying customers. Sometimes you gotta do things that are gonna get you slaughtered. Alright, well, hopefully we'll at least be able to cast a spell before we're dead here. Sand's garbage. Sand's alright. So our opponent mulliganed to 4 and put a card on the bottom. Alright, so to be fair, it doesn't usually matter if we give our opponent lands. Opponent has a Narcomoeba that they really don't want to draw. Okay. Another Narcomoeba. City of Brass. Breakthrough for 1. Ugh. Um. Hmm. Question is, am I supposed to keep a hand like this? No dredge cards, no really early pressure. I think we mulligan to at least 6 here. This hand isn't great, but at least it allows us to interact with our opponent. Probably keeping Chain Lightning on top here. Sure. See what they put in the graveyard here. Icaroid and Bridge from Below. Well then. Biggest problem is we're giving our opponent a ton of time because we don't have a ton of pressure here, so. breakthrough. Street Wraith. Alright. Welcome to Legacy, ladies and gentlemen, where you can get destroyed game 1 and then somehow still come back and win game 2 and 3. Alright. That was bizarre. Very, very bizarre. I mean, obviously, Dredge is a very powerful deck when it has the draws like it had in Game 1. You wanna know why Wizards keeps Dredge under control? Because... Agreed. Dredge is very much a Game 1 deck, and hope and pray to God you get there in Game 2 or Game 3. That's one of those, how do I put it? It's one of those, power over consistency kind of games. Like where Burn is more consistent with its game plan, Dredge is more powerful whenever it has its draws. Alright, we're on the draw again. Not great for us. Holy wowzers. Yeah, that's a mulligan. I think that's a keep, but not great. Tropical Island. Oh, Infect. Great. Suspect Infects in this format's not a great matchup. Just hazarding a guess there. Noble Hierarch lined up here. Especially when we've drawn four mountains. Probably not a great matchup. My only question is are we dead here? I don't know if I like fetching double Tropical Island against the Price of Progress deck. But, once again, I am far from a Legacy aficionado here. Speak of the devil, and it shall appear. Another Glistenar elf. Wow. Okay. Guess we could easily die here, but at the same time, our opponent is taking risks they really don't need to take. So right now we have 6/10 damage in hand. We have some amount of maybe it's incorrect to hold back a blocker there. Okay. Got the Infector draw, that's for sure. You have Spell Pierce, you have Spell Pierce. Alright, got Flusterstorm. Can't really play around that completely. Don't know that we have too many great cards for this matchup. Alright, I'm not sure why our opponent's wastelanding themselves. Unless they're going for the, unless their last card in hand is Become Immense. Confirmed. What's up, Foz? What's up, Space Marine? Welcome to my Legacy Nightmare here. Invigorate. Raucous, Flusterstorm, Swords. I have no idea what I'm even bringing in this matchup. Mismatch lands. I'm getting my hind end kicked at Legacy, and you guys are worried about mismatch lands. Searing Blood. I don't think this is a pillar matchup. Don't think it's a Sulfuric Vortex matchup. Don't think it's a Tormod Crypts or a Fairy Macabre. So, guess we're boarding out like a Flame Rift. This is one of the few formats where Burn's actually the good guy. Where it's among the fairest, nicest things you can be doing to your opponent. Sure, we'll keep his hand. We might be alright. I don't... Against Infect, I feel so much better if I have Path to Exile, or I guess in this case Swords to Plowshares in my deck. Just because they can play around the damage spells when they've got good hands. But they did mulligan to 5, so maybe that's a positive for us. And they scried to the top, so I guess we're going to know what they kept on top here. Okay, they've got a Glistener Elf, sure. Well, have fun at the game store tonight, War Dog. What you gonna be playing? Brainstorm. Alright, just to draw an extra land. Presuming there's going to be a land on top of their deck. Surprise, surprise. As always, love me rock. Alright. Alright, I think we gotta go for the kill next turn. So can I kill them here? 4, 5. I don't think him to Torax modern legal there, Space Marine. So this represents 5, this represents 6. Am I supposed to play conservative here, or am I supposed to go for the kill? Foz, this is your area of expertise. I'm kind of a burn rookie here in Legacy. Am I supposed to try to go for the kill here? Well, Space Marine, that's easier said than done in a format where Force of Will exists. So the only card that beats us here is Force of Will if they block. So I guess we'll attack, see if they block, go from there. See what card they left on top. Okay, Ponder, sure. That kind of messes things up. 2... Okay. So 2, 3, 7... And then 12, so I'm 1 off here. Pass priorities, see if they use an Invigorate or something here. Gonna play an Eidolon, slow them down. They're Force of Willing Eidolon of the Great Revel. Pitching what? Well, fortunately, they already took care of Blighted Agent for us. So the only thing we have to worry about is Ink Moth. That is kind of mana intensive, so meh. I don't know if they can kill us through two pieces of interaction here. I suppose that would have made sense. The Force of Will still would have blown that up a little bit. Sure. Flusterstorm on top. Alright, cool. Oh, I'm not saying they couldn't kill us there. I'm just saying the cards that they would have to have would be mathematically difficult. I think this matchup would be a lot better if I had Lavamancers in the 75. Still don't think there's any change. Feel like on the draw we're gonna be in some trouble. I think we're supposed to keep this hand. Yeah, they mulligan to 6 this game, so, and we don't have any interaction, so we could easily die on like turn 2. Or not. Brainstorm. Alright. Interesting. They're aggressively brainstorming to get extra cards. Death Rate really made what deck? In fact, I didn't think... Burn, your version of Burn, you mean? They're gonna daze my Goblin God. Alright. feels a little aggressive. Alright, Noble Hierarch, sure. Am I supposed to idle on them? Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to idle on them here. If you have another daze, you have another daze. Yeah. To be fair, though, most burn decks didn't run Lavamancer. Or not Lavamancer, whatchamacallit. So my opponent is Brainstorm Lock, which is an important to note. This is Blighted Agent. That could get a little ugly. Feels like Blighted Agent. Thing in the Ice. Wow. Okay. Definitely not ready for that one. You have force, you have force. Goblin guy's a little bit awkward here. I have no idea. Space Marine, have to ask Foz. I'm just supposed to pass here and not get punked by Flusterstorm. So theoretically we have lethal in hand, but I don't know. Price of Progress would put them to 5. Lava Spike would put them to 2. So they'd have to block, but we could still die to Invigorate Berserk here. I think I'm supposed to price here on end step. Presume our opponent either has a Force of Will or they're going to have to fetch here. Flusterstorm? Not the kind of card I wanted to see here. Brainstorm, which means they will be able to flip their thing in the ice next turn. This attack should put them to 5. They're really going to play a Become Immense just to flip their thing in the ice? That's really bizarre. Holy crap. Whew. Wowzers. Wow. Just wow, just wow, just wow. Dang, Foz. Whew. Some intense crap, man. I don't think I've had too many modern matches with Burn like that lately. Jeez. Whew. So, thoughts so far on the deck. Wow. Just wow. So far we played against Dredge and Infect. I can't say I don't like it, it's just intense. Like, I would say overall, I would start another game, but I can't guarantee I can sit through another half-hour grind fest right now because of what time of day it is, because I got started streaming a little bit later than I wanted to, picking up the cards. But, seems so far our matchups have been a battle of power versus consistency. Like, Dredge, game 1, basically dumped 2/3 their library into the graveyard and knocked us silly with, like, 1633 power in play on turn 2. And then game 2 and game 3, mulligan to Oblivion and couldn't fight through the graveyard hates. In effect, similarly, game 1 kind of was able to outmaneuver us, and then game 2 and 3, they mulligan looking for their pieces and didn't have just enough to finish the game off. So, that's intense. Yeah. Definitely interesting. Alright, well, I had intended on getting through the entire league today, but obviously, time constraint wise, I can't. But we'll definitely pick this up probably either tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll definitely pick this league up. Nice thing about owning these particular cards on my alternative account. Thanks to Foz, by the way. Everyone who's enjoying Legacy content, thank Foz for helping us purchase the Legacy Burn cards. So props to him. It's definitely forcing me to expand my horizons as a Burn player. Yeah. Tomorrow, if we don't finish up the Legacy Burn League tomorrow, we're going to be having, like, a small, like, brainstorming session for M19 Standard. Some streamers are already starting to play with M19 cards. I won't be able to start playing with them until Mantrayer stocks them, which will probably be sometime next week. I'm looking at, like, Grixis, updating other deck lists, maybe trying to figure out some zombie lists. I've played Legacy before, but it's been very, like, very dabble here, dabble there. So, and the fact that Legacy is only available in competitive leagues really kind of makes it a little trepidous to, like, really get into Legacy. Because you have to have the access to the cards, and you have to be willing to dump 12 bucks per league. And if you don't 3-2, you lose your stuff, so. But, yeah. Tomorrow we'll be doing some standard brewing. We might play a match or two in this Legacy League. Depends on what time I get started streaming. Wednesday we'll definitely figure... finish up the finish up this Legacy League, and then sorry, Legacy is for adults? Question mark. Fair enough. Fair enough. Though I think Noah Walker would have something to say about that. And Thursday afternoon, we're definitely going to play Space Marines Black White Walkers list. So that's kind of what's on tap for the rest of the week. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. So we will definitely be picking up tomorrow with this, with a little bit of brewing, and then maybe Legacy, or if we get into brewing enough, we'll just be doing brewing for M19 Standard tomorrow. And then Wednesday we'll pick up this league, and then Thursday we'll be playing Space Marines Black White Walkers list. So that's kind of where the things are for the week. Beyond that, thanks Ryan, thanks Foz, thanks Space Marine for hanging out. War Dog, whenever you see this later, thanks for hanging out, man. So, whew, that was some intense stuff, man. Alright, Foz, catch you guys later.